Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Welcome everyone to Vani Amritvani program. Today, Her Grace Achla Bhakti Mataji will be, no, Her Grace Radha Karuna Mataji will be reading the Nam Amrit, followed by Prabhupada quote, followed by Prabhupada Lila Amrit. Thereafter, Her Grace Achla Bhakti Mataji will be reciting the shlokas. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Welcome everyone. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Radha Karuna Mataji, please start reading.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam to all. February 26, 2026, Sri Namamrita, the nectar of holy name. Lord Chaitanya's request to chant the holy name is now extended to everyone in the world through the Krishna consciousness movement. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then glanced with mercy at the Mohammedan governor, giving him assurance. He asked him to chant the holy names Krishna and Hari. It is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy that he advises everyone, even Chandalas, Malechhas, and Yavanas, to chant the holy name of the Lord. In other words, one who has taken to chanting the holy names Krishna and Hari has already received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. The Lord's request to chant the holy name of Krishna is now extended to everyone in the world through this Krishna consciousness movement. Whoever follows Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions will certainly be purified. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 16.187. Prabhupada quote 26 February. If somebody takes your legs and catches you and your head is down, then it is not very comfortable. This whole material world is like that. It is uncomfortable. It is perverted reflection. On the bank of a pond, a tree is standing, but the reflection in the water of the tree is not real. Real tree is up. Similarly, real enjoyment, real varieties, everything is in the spiritual world. Calcutta, February 26, 1974. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrit. My mission desires to train up 40 trainees, and I have asked help from the government for this useful educational purpose. I want that you may be one of the trainees in this regard, and you can ask Kartik Dada to join us in this spirit. You will know from the papers sent to you how we live and what we do, and thus you can make up your mind whether it is possible for you to join us. The first thing is that we want to train up some retired men in the Vanaprastha life and some young men in the Brahmacharya life. I have no inclination for the sannyas life, which is rather a difficult job for the fallen people of this age. The so called sannyasis in red garments have spoiled the good name of such order of life. Abhay also asked Rupen, kindly let me know the charges of this advertisement in the English and vernacular papers of Calcutta. Educational, wanted candidates from any nationality to qualify themselves as real Brahmins for preaching the teachings of Bhagavad Gita for all practical purposes throughout the whole world. Deserving candidates will be provided free boarding and lodging. Apply A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, founder and secretary of the League of Devotees, Bharati Bhavan, P.O. Jhansi, UP. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam. Bhagavad Gita 18.36. Sukham tve idanim trividham shinu me bharatarshava abhyasad ramati yatra dukhantam cha nigachati. Translation: O best of Bharatas, now please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoys, and by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.16.11 Durasado Durvishah Asano Api Vidurvad Naiva Bhavitum Shakyo Vanarani Uthito Nanala. Translation. King Prithu was born of the dead body of King Venu as fire is produced from Arani wood. Arani wood. Thus, King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. Chaitanya Charitamrit Madhya Leela 5.141 Kamalapure कमल कमलापुरे आसी भारी भारगी नारी स्नान काइला नित्यानंद हाय ते प्रभु दंड धारीला. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Kamalapur, he took his bath in the Bharginadi river and left his sannyas staff in the hands of Lord Nityanand. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari ki jai, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Shri Govardhan Maharaj ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, His Grace Shiksha Guru Rupavilas Prabhu ji ki jai, His Grace Koshta Krishna Prabhu ji ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to morning chanting program. Hare Krishna. Harer Nam, Harer Nam eva kevalam, kalau nasti, eva nasti, eva gatir anyatha. That in this age of Kali, there is no other way, no other way, no other way for spiritual progress than chanting the holy name of the Lord. So this verse establishes that chanting is not optional, it is essential. In Kali Yuga, the Supreme Lord has given us the greatest gift, the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself in the mood of a devotee, descended specifically to distribute this mercy without discrimination. Lord Chaitanya's request to chant the holy name of Krishna has now been extended to everyone in the world through the Krishna consciousness movement. So, this is extremely significant. Earlier, spiritual practices were often restricted by birth, caste, qualification, or background. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu broke all the boundaries. This text described how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu even glanced mercifully at the Mohammedan governor and requested him to chant the holy names Krishna and Hari. So, this shows something very important that Mahaprabhu does not see Hindu, Muslim, high class, low class. He sees only one thing, the soul. Therefore, he instructs Chandalas, Malichas, Yavanas, men, women, rich, poor, everyone is eligible to chant the holy name. And one who has taken to chanting the holy name of Krishna has already received Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. So we may feel, I have so many faults, my mind is disturbed, I am not qualified. But Mahaprabhu says, just chant sincerely. The holy name itself will purify us. Cheto darpanamajanam bhavamahadavagni nirvampanam Shriyah Kairav Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadhujivanam. That the holy name cleanses the mirror of the heart, extinguishes the fire of material existence, and awakens spiritual knowledge and bliss. So, therefore, purification comes after chanting, not before chanting. And why is the holy name so powerful? It is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita Yajanam Japo Yajno Asmi, that among all the sacrifice, I am the sacrifice of chanting the holy names. So this proves that chanting is direct association with Krishna himself. Even if one chant with difficulty or distraction, the name act. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabhu Naya Shravanadi Sudha Chite Karaya Udaya. That love for Krishna is eternally present in the heart by hearing and chanting it awakens. So whoever follows Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction will certainly be purified. So Srila Prabhupada established that ISKCON with this exact mission to extend Mahaprabhu's mercy to the entire world, to fill the prophecy Prithviche Achayata Nagaradi Grama. So today, through book distribution, kirtan, prasadam, lectures, this mercy is reaching every corner of the globe. So how should we respond? By chanting attentively, have faith in the holy name. And even one sincere encouragement to chant can change someone's life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy is limitless, and the qualification is not purity but sincerity. Whoever follows his instruction to chant the holy name will certainly be purified. So let us be grateful instrument in this divine mission and take shelter of the holy name. So Prabhupada quote, and today Prabhupada quote, he says that if someone catches us by the leg and hold us upside down, it is very uncomfortable. Similarly, this whole material world is uncomfortable because it is an upside down reflection of reality. Srila Prabhupada explains that just as a tree standing on the bank of a pond appears inverted in the water, the reflection is not real. The real tree is up above. In the same way, whatever we experience here, relationship, happiness, beauty, variety are all only reflection. The real enjoyment and real varieties exist in the spiritual world. This teaching is directly supported in Bhagavad Gita 15.1, where Krishna describes the material world as an Ashwatha tree with its roots upward and branches downward. So, this means reality is above, and what we see here is a perverted reflection. So, why is this life here so often frustrating? Because we are trying to enjoy the reflection, not the original. No one can eat the reflection of a fruit in water. Similarly, no one can find lasting happiness in this material world. So Srila Prabhupada is not telling us to hate this world, but to understand it correctly. When we understand that this world is temporary and reflected, we naturally turn our attention upward toward Krishna and the spiritual world, where everything is eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. The process to reconnect with the real world is very simple in Kali Yuga, chanting the holy name. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our consciousness is gradually lifted from the reflection to the reality. And don't expect perfection from material world. Understand its reflected nature and invest our heart in devotional service which reconnect us with the real tree, that is the spiritual world. So let us remember Srila Prabhupada mercy in giving this clear vision and sincerely chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Here Srila Prabhupada in Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit, he speaks about his mission to train people, not merely to create renunciants, but to educate qualified preachers for the world. Srila Prabhupada says that he desired to train about 40 trainees and even sought support from the government for this educational mission. So, this shows us that ISKCON was never meant to be only a religious institution, it was meant to be a spiritual education movement for human society. And very importantly, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes training people in ashrams suitable for this age, young men in brahmacharya and retired men in vanaprastha. And he clearly says that he had no inclination for mass sannyas because in Kali Yuga it is very difficult and many so-called renunciants have spoiled the dignity of that order. So this shows Srila Prabhupada's realism and compassion. He understood the weakness of this age and designed a system where people could progress spiritually without artificial renunciation. So Srila Prabhupada advertised wanted candidates from any nationality to qualify themselves as real Brahmanas for preaching the teaching of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. So this is very extraordinary because here Srila Prabhupada redefined Brahmanhood not by birth but by training, character, and service. So this is perfectly aligned with the teaching of Bhagavad Gita when Krishna says that the four varnas are created according to qualities and work, not birth. So Srila Prabhupada was not interested in creating armchair scholar. He wanted practical Brahmins, people who live purely, understand philosophy deeply, and preach boldly for the benefit of the entire world. He even arranged free boarding, lodging, showing that spiritual education should be accessible to sincere soul, not limited by money or a social background. So Srila Prabhupada is calling each of us to ask, am I training my life seriously in Krishna consciousness? Am I becoming a responsible carrier of Bhagavad Gita, not just a hearer? Am I contributing to this mission of educating and uplifting society? So ISKCON exists because Srila Prabhupada believed that ordinary people properly trained can do extraordinary service of Krishna. So let us honor this vision by deepening our sadhana, our study, and our service attitude, and by helping others also rise to this standard. So this is the real royalty to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Today in Bhagavad Gita 18.36, Krishna begins explaining a very practical subject, that is happiness. He says, O best of the Bhartas, now please hear from me about the three kind of happiness by which the conditioned soul enjoy and by which he sometime come to the end of all distress. Everyone is searching for happiness, but Krishna teaches that not all happiness is the same. It is divided according to the three modes of material nature. The first is happiness in the mode of goodness, that is sattva. This happiness begins like poison and ends like nectar. Example, regulated chanting and sadhana, following principles, controlling the mind and senses. In the beginning, it may feel difficult walking early, chanting attentively, but by practice, abhyas, it brings lasting peace and reduces mental suffering. So this happiness purifies the heart and lead toward liberation. Second, happiness, it is in the mode of passion, rajaskun. So this happiness begins like nectar and end like poison. Example, sense enjoyment, prestige, fame, excitement, temporary pleasures. At first it feels enjoyable, but later it results in frustration, anxiety, bondage. And most of the modern world is chasing this type of happiness. Happiness in the mode of ignorance. This happiness is delusion from beginning to end. Example, laziness, intoxication, excessive sleep, violence, self destruction. It does not bring real happiness at any stage, only confusion and degradation. Krishna uses the word abhyasat, that is by practice. So this means real happiness comes by training, not by impulse. And spiritual happiness is not cheap, it is permanent. But material happiness is cheap and it is temporary. So we should ask ourselves which happiness I am choosing daily. Am I ready to accept a little discomfort now for lasting spiritual joy later? So by choosing sattvic habit, especially chanting the holy name, we gradually come to dukhantam, that is the end of distress. So Krishna does not deny happiness, he educates us to choose the right kind of happiness. So let us choose the happiness that lead us toward Krishna, not happiness that bind us further in the material world. Hare Krishna. So today's verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 4.16.11 describes the extraordinary appearance and potency of King Prithu, that is the power of God-centered leader. The sages explain that King Prithu appeared from the body of King Vena, just as fire is produced from arani wood. This comparison is very important. Fire may not be visible at first, but when properly manifested, nothing can stop its power. Similarly, although King Prithu appeared from a very unfavorable situation, he was pure, powerful, and divinely empowered. The verse says that the king Prithu would always remain like fire and therefore his enemies could not approach him. Even if they came close, they could not overpower him. No one could defeat his strength. So this teaches us a very deep principle that spiritual strength is far superior to material power. And King Prithu was not powerful merely because he was a king. He was powerful because he was a representative of Supreme Lord ruling according to Dharma. In Kali Yuga, we often see leaders who have position but no spiritual foundation. As a result, they may appear strong externally, but internally they are weak. King Prithu, however, was the opposite, spiritually strong, materially invincible. Another important lesson here is that purity create authority, just as fire naturally give heat and light. A pure devotee naturally influences other. So there is no need for artificial intimidation. So righteousness itself becomes protection. So for us as devotee, this first applies practically. When we take shelter of Krishna sincerely, negative forces cannot disturb us easily. Maya may come close but cannot overpower us. Inner strength developed through devotion. So just as enemies could not approach King Prithu, material miseries cannot dominate one who is fixed in devotional service. So, no matter what our background is, if our life is centered on Krishna consciousness, we can become strong, fearless, and effective in our service. So, let us remember that real power comes from obedience to Krishna, not from ego or position. So, King Prithu teaches us that divine empowerment defeats all opposition, spiritual purity is the greatest strength, and a King Krishna centered life makes one fearless. Hare Krishna. Today's verse from Chaitanya Charit Amrit Madhya Leela 5.141 describes a very sweet and instructive pastime of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This verse says that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Kamlapur, he took his bath in Bhargi Nadi river, and then something very significant happened. He handed his sannyas stuff to Lord Nityanand. Externally, this may look like a small detail, but internally, it reveals deep spiritual principle. The sannyas danda represent renunciation, responsibility, commitment to spiritual life. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord Himself, He shows us by His personal example that a devotee should live with humility and dependence on other devotee. By giving his staff into the hand of Lord Nityanand, Mahaprabhu demonstrates complete trust and living cooperation between the devotees. This teaches us that spiritual life is not meant to be practiced independently or proudly, but in relationship with devotee. Another important lesson here is simplicity. That Mahaprabhu had just bathed in a holy river, symbolizing purification, and then entrusted his external symbol of renunciation to Nityanand Prabhu. So this shows that real renunciation is internal, not just external symbol. So for us, the verse teaches us advancement in devotion requires humility. Even the most exalted devotees value association and support. And spiritual life grows when there is mutual trust among the devotees. So when it is gone, Srila Prabhupada emphasized the same mood, cooperation, service attitude, and dependence on Guru and Vaishnavas. So when we hold on to the ego or independence, progress becomes difficult. And when we learn to depend on Krishna through his devotees, spiritual life becomes joyful. So let us learn to place our responsibilities, our struggle, and even our renunciation in the hand of devotees, just as Mahaprabhu placed his staff in the hand of Nityanand Mahaprabhu. So that mode of loving dependence is the heart of Gaudiya Vaishnav culture. So this simple pastime teaches us trust is a sign of spiritual maturity, humility attracts divine grace, and devotional life flourishes through cooperation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai, His Grace Rupa Vilas Prabhu ji ki jai, His Grace Kashta Krishna Prabhu ji ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam.